Can we start with any movement potentially, getting players in or even players going out? Is there anything to report there, Neil?
No, I was just touching on it with the boys here that I still want to work with what I've got. I understand people asking me, because of the position we are in, we find ourselves in, will I be bringing players in? Eventually there'll be a cut-off point where I go, right, either I'm really happy with what I've got or we need to improve the squad. But I've not reached that point by a long way yet.
Okay.
In terms of players going out, there's interest obviously in some of the younger ones, but there are some of the younger ones that I want to keep around the first team squad because I've been pleasantly surprised by the quality that they've got. And we've already got, I think at the minute, 3 out on loan, Hayden and George at Carlisle and Andy at Plymouth. But if we feel that there's a good opportunity there for one of the younger ones to go and play, then we'll look at it.
It's your first home game in charge against Brentford. How are you feeling? How do you feel things have gone? And it's a very short time that you've been at Bolton Wanderers, clearly.
No, I'm loving it. I'm already in love with the club. And very determined to be successful here. I've been bestowed a great responsibility, one which really looking forward, and I am relishing the challenge as is Johan and Gary and the rest of the backroom staff. I was angry with the result on Tuesday because I think we should have got something out of the game. What delighted me was the performance, the attitude of the players, their actual bravery on the ball. We passed the ball very, very well, and that's something that I'm very, very pleased with because they probably haven't played that well away from home for a long, long time, so they're starting to get the message across, However, we have to turn good performances into wins, and we want that to start tomorrow.
Has anything surprised you? You've come across anything unexpectedly so far?
Good question. Just the sheer size of the club and the facilities that we have here, I've been gobsmacked by that. Really taken with the warmth of the people. And what I'm getting now is what I had at Leicester is, Leicester's a one-town club, Bolton's a one-town club, and if you can get success in that environment, then everyone's pulling in the same direction. I've got great staff here who are all important to me. People say I have a squad of 23, 24. I've got a squad, in my view, of about 60 or 70 who are all important to me, whether it be the attitude or the atmosphere at the training ground. I need them to keep it bubbly and upbeat, and I need the players to enjoy coming into the work. But then when they come in, they're going to work, And I've got good, I'm working for good people. And what I want to do is, I know there's a little bit of frustration with Phil and maybe Mr. Davis to a certain extent. Going forward, I'll take that responsibility. It's my team, so I think if people are looking for someone to blame or take responsibility going forward, then I've got big enough shoulders to do that.
It seems as though it's really important to you that everybody is united, and every single person, regardless what their role is, if they've got a connection to Bolton Wanderers, they've got to be united. Is that a fair assessment for what you're looking for?
Yeah, for some people it's their life.
Of course,
Bolton Wanderers is their life. For
it's your life now, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm living and breathing it 24/7. I was at a presentation in Belfast yesterday, for the pro licence. Some guys had got their awards, and was talking about the club, and even people in Ireland are saying, it's a big club, and they know of the history and tradition of the club. So we want to get people talking about Bolton again. But people at the club, they love it. They take a huge amount of pride in working at the club, and we want to maintain those standards.
What's the absolute priority? I think I know the answer to this. Is you need a result, don't you? Or you need several results.
Yeah, getting out of the bottom three, is a start. I think we're more than good enough to do that. So my frustration with Tuesday was, the only frustration was the result.
Yep.
The performance was far, far superior to what we had at Birmingham on Saturday. And as a manager, that gives you a lot of encouragement going forward. But the players have to realise, I'm used to winning, and I want them to get used to it as well. But I think they've taken on board the performance and gone, you know what, that was good. Now we just need to finish teams off.
On the eve of your first home game at the Macron Stadium against Brentford. Then how do you feel? Is this a pressurised situation? Do you feel any pressure?
Yeah, you always feel pressure. You need the pressure. You need the pressure to thrive. And every manager, no matter in what walk of life they're in, there's pressure's relative. I'm under pressure now to get us out of the bottom three. There'll be managers that, like Van Gaal and Mourinho, under pressure to win things. There'll be managers trying to avoid relegation. There'll be managers trying to make the playoffs. So we're all under pressure in certain ways, and you thrive on that. That's what that's a huge stimulation. It's a huge challenge for me to get this club up and going again, and one that I'm really looking forward to.
What have you enjoyed most out of the past couple of weeks then?
The change, being back on the training ground, being in the dugout again, and working and getting to know the players and the personalities. They all have different traits. They all have their own little quirks, if you want to call it that. Getting to know who I can dig out, and getting to know who needs a shoulder around. But again, it's I've only been through 2 games, but I'm really pleased with what I've seen so far. I think there's huge scope for us going forward.
There must be a large part of you that's really excited about your first home game here at the Macron Stadium then.
I am. I mean, I had 6 months out of the game, and it's only when you come back into it you realise how much you miss it. And then being around football people yesterday, where the pro licence is a great thing, where you meet different people from all aspects of the game. You can bounce ideas off and talk about your own experiences, and again, everyone was very, very interested in what I was going to do at Bolton. So it's always good to get the profile of the club up as well, if you can.
And you sound very confident that things are sort of looking up again. When, at the time when you first came here, that the players and stuff like that, you feel like they are playing better.
I will certainly play better on Tuesday. There's no question of that.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to have misplaced confidence. I know that I'm well aware of the situation and position we find ourselves in, and we're going to do everything we can to turn it around, and it'll start tomorrow.
How's Liam Sharks? Did he play midweek?
Yes, he played, and then he trained very well yesterday, so he'll be part of the first team squad this weekend. Another centre midfield player, just to add to the 563 that we already have.
It must be good considering the amount of time that he's been out as well. He's been out for about, I think it's 8 weeks, is it, with quite a long injury.
Well, hamstring injuries are, we had to leave Joe out, with a hamstring strain. He's feeling the onset of it. Thankfully, the medical team have got to work on that, and he trained yesterday. And you can never take chances with a hamstring, because once it goes, there's a real high percentage of it reoccurring again, and they have to be 150% fit. So we want to make sure we're careful with him on that aspect.